Let me just make it straight. Let me just make it clear for you. Your life is so boring because you don't do any other thing than scroll. Like, it's very sad that that's what our default action has turned to now. You just wake up, you scroll. Any free time you have, you scroll. Like anything, you just scroll. Like you are alive, but you're not really living. You're just AFK. You're just scrolling. And if you're somebody that doesn't scroll very consistently, props to you, thumbs up to you. Like you're doing a good job. But for majority of people, 80%, 90% of young people around 16, 18, 20, 20, like you just wake up. You like we are literally addicted. We're addicted to these things. Like it's crazy how addicted we are to these things. We cannot like just literally go in a few hours or a few days without scrolling. Like you feel like whoa, I actually achieved something. And how fucked up is that? Like your life is so boring because all you do is scroll. And if you want to scroll at all, right? Like maybe you want to like go ahead and I'm not like because the thing is that to some degree they do have benefit, but it's more like diminishing return because if you don't listen to music for like a month or you don't watch any video, you don't do anything with your phone for like a month. The first time you like watch the video again or you listen to music again, it's going to feel like very wonderful. So like it's not like how would I put it now? It's like 80% bad, then 20% good. So my own point is if you want to like maybe scroll or indulge in all this technology and everything, fair enough, but do it with other people. So maybe watch a movie with your family or play video games with your friends whenever they come around. So it seems that all these things are probably not going to happen every single day. And if it's every single day, then like you're just still indulging and scrolling and everything. Maybe you and your friends every day go and you sit down and play your Call of Duty together. Then like you're starting to abuse it. But if it's like every once in a while, every once in a while your friend come over and you guys sit down and play Call of Duty, or every once in a while you go back home and you and your family, you people sit together and watch a movie, like that's good, that's progress, like that's very good. But if it's just you here by yourself, like you just sit down and you're just like just stop it. So the thing I would say also is to like choose things that you don't really know what will happen. So a good example of that is like this room before. I used to stay here by myself. This is like my room. So one of my former roommates and a friend of mine, like he was having trouble applying for his hostel and everything. So he said he wants to come and stay here with me to like sort his whole hostel stuff out. So eventually he sorted the whole hostel stuff out. But like after I stood there for a few days, it was just like he wants to stay here for like the rest of the semester. And of course, I could have told him to like go that he's already occupied, or like I could have just given him some bullshit excuse that he should just like go back to the hostel. But I just thought about it like I already know what will happen. Like I've stayed in this room for like maybe 6 months or something like that. I know what staying in this room feels like. I've done that every single day, but I don't really know what living with him will feel like. So it's like give yourself the opportunity to like explore, because staying here by myself, like yes, I record a few videos, I do a bit of productive things, but majority of the time I'm just here scrolling. So why don't you like choose something that you don't really know what will happen? So another example of is like maybe you are walking in public and you see like a girl or something like that. You know what will happen if you just ignore this girl. If you just ignore this girl, you just pass and go your way. Like that's you have done that a million times, so you know that is going to happen. But if you like approach her, you don't really know what to expect. She could like accept you, she could reject you, people could become friends, like she anything could happen. So you don't really know. So I want you to like choose things that you don't really know what will happen next, rather than things that you are very, very sure something like this is what is going to happen next. So there was this time my younger sister asked me, like what was my life during my secondary school days. And so in Nigeria, the way it's like structured, secondary school is just like maybe junior high school. So she's like 12 years old or something. So that she was just asking me like what was my life like during that time, and I just genuinely didn't have anything to tell her. Like I'll tell her every story here and there, like I was like this, or this happened, but I majorly didn't really have anything to tell her. And it's just simply because I've been living my life and I don't really do much with it. Like I didn't have any stories to tell her. And funny thing is, I asked my father, that exact same question, like, what was his life like when I was, when he was like 20? And he had so many fucking things to tell me. Like, he telling me he was used to live here and he was struggling with this and he was battling with this. Like, he was trying to fund himself to go to school. He was working this type of job. He was like doing all these crazy things. And it's made me compare the differences between our lives. Of course, this was when I was like 12. So, of course, I have no stories to tell. But even now that I'm 20, it's like as my life really changed, has my life really gotten better? Because if somebody asked me like when I was 19, tell me a story, a special story of when we were 19. Of course, I'll be able to find like a few here and there, but in general, not really. And it's the same problem. It's like we don't create stories in our lives. We don't do things that are going to create stories. We just live every day like NPCs. You wake up, you go to your school, you scroll on your phone, you go and eat or do whatever, you come back home, sleep, repeat, and do it every day for like the next 5, 10, 15 years. And before you know it, you're already 20. Before you know it, you're already 25, you're 30. And when your younger ones are asking you, like, tell me a story of this, you won't have anything to like tell them. So the most important thing I would just tell you is to make the most out of this phase of your life. Like there's this in my birthday video I did, 40 minutes video that none of you focus on. There was this point I made to make the most out of this phase of your life, and what do I mean by that is right now I'm 20 years old. I'm in school, I'm in university, I'm living in this place. I see certain people that live here, I'm making YouTube videos, I'm doing all these things. But there's going to come a time in my life when this is no longer going to be my life. And even if there's anything like very close or similar to this, it can never be the exact same thing. So maybe I might be living here, I probably won't be living here, but maybe like I might still be living here, but the people that live around here will be different. Or I might still be making YouTube videos, or the type of videos I'm making will be different, or the way my channel and everything is structured will be different. The thing is probably I won't probably be living here, and I probably won't be doing like this particular activity, or at least I'll be doing it in a different way. So the point is like, now that this is your life, now that you are doing this thing, now that this is what you do, make the most out of it, because the time is going to come where you are just never ever going to live in that house again, never ever going to see that person again, never going to do that work again, or go to that school again, or do whatever. So now that you go to these places, now that you see these people, now that you do these things every single day, make the most out of it. Like many of us, we don't usually like make the most out of the people we live with. You live with your parents, or you live with your siblings or friends or something. A time is going to come where you are rarely going to see these people, and the time will just come you will never see them again. Maybe they pass away, they die. So now that you are seeing them, now that you have access to them like almost every day, like just make the most out of them. Share memories with them, laugh with them, crack jokes, do stuff with them. And now that you're living in this place, now that you're doing all this, like whatever job or thing you're doing, like make the most out of it, work hard on it, do whatever, and make the most out of this. And also be alive and be living, because many of us are just alive, like you're alive physically, like you're not dead, but you're not living. Like waking up and grabbing your phone and going to work and coming back or going to school, repeat, like that's not living. You're just alive, you're just AFK. One thing I always usually wonder is like, I look back maybe a year or 6 months and I'll be like, wow, it's already 6 months. Like what have I been doing that 6 months? Have I been sleeping or something? Like of course I've not been sleeping. It's like you have been alive, but you have not really been living. So don't wait for like you yourself to have like a health scare or something before you actually start taking living seriously. Like start living today. Be alive and be living, and make the most out of this phase of your life.